Hey boys, welcome back to some more Nrl Supercoach, and it's gonna be the round 20 review where we went big. We went big. It was a stellar week. Once again, the major buy rounds. Honestly, we went okay. We went fine, but we planned really well for the major buys. But honestly, a bit of bad luck with some Origin team selections and just some pod players just not really coming to the party on those weeks. We went fine, but nothing too amazing, which I was hoping for. It's been the week after, literally the week after the major buys, we have just gone bang. In all three we've really had a stellar week. And this week was beautiful. We, granted a couple of very low scores, granted a couple of shockers, but overall some very high scores. We only had 17 playable players, and it was a beauty. So 1392, that jumps us back up 164 spots into 386, which I think that's the best place we've been so far this year. I don't think. Previously, we were like 500, so we're making our move. Hopefully, we can continue the roll on here and come home with a wet sail. Try to push for a top 100 finish, I guess. But we'll have a look at the team, and also we'll look at what I ended up doing with trades, because I ended up doing something completely different to what I was initially going to do for my trades. So. Dummy halves, Harry Grant, 95. It's very nice. Grant, if we look at Grant, he was really giving me the shit. I remember he had like 238 scores in a row. No, 34s. That's right. He had this is a bad time to own Grant, dude. He had 34 by 34, and then thankfully he's gone pretty good. No, it's still not incredible, but that round 17 was after Origin, and then 18 against Penrith was good, and then a 95 to back up against the Roosters. Got to be happy with that. So Harry Grant finally coming into his own, and making it a bit easier to hold. Our front row, Tohu Harris, 38 points. I think he only played like 30 odd minutes. There was, obviously he carries like many injuries, many niggles. They can't be too serious, but he's always carrying something. And then I think there was talk that he had a pretty bad case of the flu coming into the week, that he potentially wasn't even going to play, but because it was, it was a big game for them, so he ended up playing, but they were flogging the Sharks, so he had an early spell, so that's fine. Honestly, it's fine. It would have been nice if he got more, because he was looking good. He was looking pretty good. He had a couple offloads. The score was going to be a decent one, but he had an early spell, and it is what it is. Big Solomona, 49 points, which... that's fine. Honestly, that's fine. I actually probably prefer how they use Solomona in this game, because he played probably like 60 minutes. Yeah, 59 minutes. So I actually much preferred this, because Bellamy took him off about the 30-minute mark and then brought him back on with, about 30 minutes to go in the game, which I prefer, because it's the last couple of weeks. Yes, granted, he's scored very well for me, but you can just tell that him playing like 60 plus minutes straight, the back end of the games, he is out on his feet. Like he's no impact on the edge. So giving him a nice spell, a 10-minute spell, and then halftime, and then another 10-minute spell, and then bringing him back on for the end of the game, I think is perfect. And I don't think it necessarily impacts his score that much. Obviously, if he played the full 80 minutes, yes, there's more chance of points, but the fatigue factor is just not getting involved as much as you would like, and potentially giving away more missed tackles, more errors. So I like that going forward for Solomona, and hopefully he can just keep getting a few attacking stats. He really, honestly, they did a pretty good job. It was actually so fucking frustrating watching this game. I'm having a blank. Who did they verse? Fucking... Yeah, the Roosters. They did a pretty good job on him. It was really annoying me, because every time he touched the ball, there was like 4 or 5 tacklers in there. Like he had like a couple of tackle busts, but they really swarmed him, which was, I mean, it's the right idea, but yeah, they really targeted and tried to put big numbers into Solomona, which was it was annoying for Supercoach reasons, but still 49 points for Big Nelson, not too shabby. The back row, the back row was pretty good. So Britton Nickera, 99 in a team that got pumped by the Warriors. You will definitely take that. Johnny Bateman, 69 points. Love to see it. And honestly, like I said the last couple of weeks, like him going back to the edge, playing 80 minutes, his base stats are so good. He makes so many tackles on the edge compared to other edge forwards. Like he'll make 40 plus tackles a game on the edge. He just loves getting in there and making tackles, I guess. And then he's just got that upside. Like he hasn't really had any attacking stats the last couple of weeks, but his base stats have been off the chain. And yeah, I think him playing on the edge is a keeper till the end, personally, because he's got the floor, and then he does have the upside potential. So love to see that from Bateman. Piacora, so I mean, like I said, I only had 17 players, so I was going to play Piacora, I mean, regardless, but even I probably would have played Piacora anyway, just because the kid's a freak. He just needs to get more football because he is really, really good. And he had an outstanding game. The ball from Reynolds to put him through, some of his footwork, like it was good to see, and he banged out a nice 87, which is very nice to see because, I mean, at the end of the day, if Piacora can keep scoring well, I mean, we don't have to trade him off, but like I've been saying, he was a trade-in that was going to get nuffed out at some point, and you would like to do that sooner rather than later just to make use of the money, I guess. So another week, maybe two, and then we'll look at nothing Piacora out. Dave Fafita, so we brought in David Fafita for Jermaine Hopgood. Now, this was a very flexible week. I was definitely staying tuned for late mail and everything going on, and it didn't really hurt or help either way. So Hopgood, I think Hopgood lost a little bit of money. I do think Hopgood was at his peak, so I think trading Hopgood was the right idea. Now, the fact that Campbell Gillard is now suspended for like 4 games, so Hopgood's going to go back to playing massive minutes through the middle, but they do. I mean, they just got such a stacked forward pack, the Eels, that I think personally, I stand by the decision to trade Hopgood out for the price he was at. It meant a very easy trade-off to Fafita, who did make a little bit of cash. He does have a very high break-even this week, but, the potential for him to go 100 this game and go up like 40k to just make it very awkward to get him back in, I think, yeah, the fact he wasn't benched. If he was benched in this game, I probably would have just held off. I would have held Hopgood, because the nice thing, it was the last game of the round. The Eels were taking on the Titans, so I could make that trade like right at the last second. And yeah, Fafita, did he play the full 80? I think he did, didn't he? Must have been close. Yeah, he did play the full 80. Like that again, I thought Cartwright and Moses did like a really good job on him. He had a couple of offloads here and there. But yeah, they did a pretty darn good job. Look at the fucking scores. Holy shit. Like, even going past round 3, 96, 76, 82, 84, 114, 100, 111, 116. Take away that one, 121, 107, and then even a 60 in a low score. Like, holy shit. He's been unbelievable. He's probably the best player we started with for the season, and I still, the trade out we did for round 13 was still good, even though he got a couple of big tons, but it still worked out very lovely for us. Bryce Cara at 96 points. You love to see it. Oh, you love to see it. It was, again, fucking Cartwright. Every time I'm like, okay, this is probably the end for Cartwright. Again, I was looking at the bench. Sean Lane was back. They had Madison, Davey, Offengowie, and Moretti, I think, on the bench. So obviously, Madison and Davey were the worries. But both of them came through the middle. Like, Madison didn't play huge minutes. Davey didn't. Offengowie probably played like 10 minutes for some reason. And then, yeah, Cartwright played the full 80. And again, he should be playing the full 80. Cartwright has looked their best back rower by far this year. He's been fantastic. When he scored that try, I was like cheering, dude. I couldn't believe it. I don't know if they gave him... Originally, they didn't give him the try assist for that sort of pass back that got ricocheted to Penasini. He did update a fair bit, so maybe they did give him that try assist, which I think he should have got. Like, he did all the work. It was a bit of a deflection, but he still set up the try. So a 96 point from Cartwright. He's making more cash, and I mean, again, if he keeps the fucking 80 minutes on the edge outside of Moses, like, he's just such a good option. So until it's like a couple of weeks of him playing fewer minutes, I'm just going to keep Cartwright, and he's going to keep doing the business for me. It's beautiful to watch. Nico Hines with a 72 in a well-being team. Obviously got that one try, but it was funnily enough, it's always weird, right? Because like Hines would have been a pretty popular captaincy if people didn't have Ponga. So it was one of those games that, because I didn't captain him, it was like, you're sort of hoping Hines had a stinker because everybody fucking has Hines, and it would have screwed people over that captain him. He's still at 72, so people that did captain him weren't, like, they didn't get screwed over, but definitely missed out on a few points, not having Ponga or VCing Ponga. Shawnee Johnson, 135. He still lost cash, which is crazy. He lost 16,000. How low did he score? Yeah, he got that, I guess that 20, man. Like, he had 127, 119, 112, and then 120 there just sort of stuffed up his break even, because 75 and 135. So now some big decisions to make with Johnson, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, obviously Cleary, again, I was still umming and ahhing. It was basically get in for Feeder or Cleary, because again, they played like it late in the round, so I could wait for late mail. But there was still so many, like, it wasn't confirmed, I think, by the time Johnson ran out, but there was so much talk about that Cleary wasn't going to back up that it was like, no, you can't risk it. And honestly, I don't really understand why anybody would have traded to Cleary this week. If you preempted doing it last week, I mean, I could understand it. Obviously, very unlucky that he didn't play this week, and you took a risk and it didn't pay off. But this week, I guess if you owned your own Hughes, because Hughes played early in the week, you pretty much had to make the decision early. But if you owned Johnson or Moses and traded to Cleary, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why? The talk was that he wasn't going to play. I don't know why you would risk it. I don't know how many people did, but if you did, you definitely got stuffed over. So Johnson pulling us out there with a big at 135. Kalen Ponga was the other trade that we made. And what we did... As you can see, Cody Walker is still on the team. We ended up trading Jareem Buller for Kalen Ponga. So it ended up we put Garrick back to fullback, Joey Manu into our centre wing, which is nice. And now we're running with the Kalen Ponga, Cody Walker 5'8" duo, which is good. I was pretty adamant I was going to trade Cody Walker, but honestly, being able to get rid of Buller, which again, I mean, you get rid of Buller and of course he scores 2 tries, which I'm not, I was definitely, that's sort of why I was still considering keeping Buller, because he had a good matchup against the Knights. I think they play the Dragons this week as well. So the fact Buller might have a couple of good games, I'm not shocked, but at the end of the day, the long term here, it was very nice having Cody Walker and Kalen Ponga 5'8", and now we just have a lot more flexibility in terms of what fullbacks we run, because again, Buller definitely drops some more cash. He'll probably start making cash if he scores another decent one, but by that point, you probably wanted to trade Buller out next week anyway, and he won't have made enough cash to really justify the trade. So it was the best situation. I've got, like, Buller's looked so good, so I'm not surprised he scored well. He could have scored well last week. It was just, we held him for the bye. The gamble didn't pay off, but still, the cash. I mean, it's not the fucking stock market. You don't have to trade people out at their actual peaks and troughs, dude. Like, we're pretty set for money at the moment, so it's all decent for us. And now Cody Walker becomes a bit of a pod. I mean, he's in 23% of teams. Now they have... So Broncos, potentially tough, but also... I mean, the Broncos can leak points, so we'll see. And then the Tigers, Sharks, Dragons, Newcastle. Pretty good run coming up for Cody Walker, so that's sort of why I was keen to keep him. Our centre wing, so Val Holmes. Again, fucking Val Holmes, man. He's just... Oh, man. The backup games after Origin, he has just gone to another level, and he's a beautiful man. 93 points. Joey Manu, 79 points, playing at fullback. Sifa Talakai 26 and Ronnie Mulatalo. we did drop out of the team to do the vice captaincy loop, but we only had 17, so he was our auto emergency regardless, and he got 9 points. So now Mulatalo at this point, I know probably a lot of people are going to try to jump off Mulatalo. Personally, I see Mulatalo sort of like an Alex Johnston. Their value is still okay. Like, you could definitely get some merit to trading, but they're guys that you can play on matchups. And like, I feel like most people should have 5 and probably 6 like genuine starting center wings, and like 1 nuff or like 1 cheapie like Tyrant Munro or someone else. So I don't know, personally, you shouldn't have to trade Mulatalo, and I just think having him there, like, good. I mean, it's just shown, like, Sharks against bottom 8 teams can score many, many points. Against top 8 teams, they're shit. If you look at their draw for the run home, I mean, Manly this week is pretty decent. Penrith is tough. You wouldn't play him. Rabbitohs is also tough. But then Gold Coast, Cowboys, Newcastle, Raiders. It's a bit up and down, but I don't know. I think I'm just going to keep Mulatalo. Talakai, on the other hand, the fact he's still 630k after a couple of big scores, he's definitely going to start leaking cash now. I definitely consider trading out Talakai. Because again, the Sharks don't have any more buys, but I do think I've got too many Sharks. I've got 4 Sharks players, and if they go badly, they fucking go bad. I mean, Hines and Nikora, pretty much matchup proof to an extent, but yeah, Talakai, I can see myself trading Talakai. Just, he's at a good price. He is going to start leaking cash, so we'll definitely look at that. And then our fullbacks, Ruben Garrick with a 50 and Clint Gutherson with a 61, who is now over 900k and is also a guy that I think I might be looking to trade Gutherson. He's just at such a high price now. This is definitely his peak, and we could definitely, like, we can make well, depending who we trade to and who's back, but we could definitely potentially make a lot of money and also get in a guy that could be just overall better. Even like a Tedesco. I've sort of looked at the idea of getting Tedesco, who's like 660k, I think. So yeah, there's some options. Definitely some options going forward. So let's have a look. So who's on the bye this week? The Dolphins. We actually don't have any Dolphins players, do we? So let's put on this. Honestly, this is this is now going to be the worst part of Supercoach. I always fucking like, honestly, the weeks just gone are like my favorite parts of Supercoach, where you've just got like maybe 1 or 2 decisions to make of who you play. But this week, I'm going to have so many fucking decisions of who to play and who not to play. And you just know, it's just a throw at the dartboard. Like, obviously, you can go on matchups and whatnot, but it's just a throw of the dart here. Let's have a look at our full strength. So, who are the Rabbits versing? The Bronx. Probably, I don't know, you probably wouldn't play Cook. So Joe Tarpany obviously comes in for... Who do the Storm play? Newcastle. You probably play Big Solomona. But Harris... man, Harris is so good. Do you just not play Harris? Maybe? I mean, Harris having a bit of a spell this week. Probably play like 80 minutes next week. Go 80 plus. But I don't know. Do that for now. Maybe we don't play Solomona. Let's just do this for now. We could go for a bit of an upside play with Nelson there. Back row, Nicola Bateman, Piacora. We'll get in Dave Fafita. I mean, Horsburgh, the Eels take on the Cowboys. I feel like this is a game I don't play Cartwright just because he played the full 80 this week. I can just see next week Brad Arthur being like, you know what, I'll give Cartwright a spell and play him like 50 to 60 minutes and give Davey more minutes. So that definitely could happen. Nico Hines, Sean Johnson, Ponga, Walker, again, the Broncos. You could fade, but I think you'd play him. Dude, we have so many options. Holmes, Manu, you got to play. Holmes, obviously, you play. Croker, no. We'll put on... This is where it gets a bit tricky. So Sharks, Manly, you probably play Ronnie, I think, because he'll be a bit of a pod play this week because a lot of people would trade him out or just not play him. But against Manly, surely the Sharks turn it around. And I think you play Talakai as well. A bounce back. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if Talakai gets dropped, dude. He was fucking awful. His defense, holy shit, it was bad. Johnston, you could play, but you don't have to. Jared Croker, we still want to trade out Croker, but it's not a pressing issue. So it's going to be a tough decision of who we trade in or who we sit and start this week. Because I still don't have fucking Cody Walker. Surely got to play him. No Cook, Solomona, Walker, Johnston at the moment. But let's go through who I'm looking at for positions. So dummy half is set. I have thought about the idea of maybe just fucking trading out Cook for a cheapie. I don't know about nothing Cook, but there's a couple of options that are fairly cheap. I mean, Harrison Graham, he's on a bye this week, but you know, with Marshall King being out potentially. So I mean, Brendan Hands at 360k. Hodgson is gone. Like, Hodgson's gone for the rest of the year. Is Hands playing 80 minutes? Yeah, he played 80 minutes. I don't know. His scores aren't great. 72 minutes 31, 72 37. He got the try assist in this one. I don't know. Is it really worth it? Like, the money's nice, but it's like, would you rather just nuff out if you're going to do that? Probably. Is there anyone else of note? Fuck, I mean, Abby Coruscant was 450k. Again, though, is it... the thing about it is that, like, yeah, I'll make like 200k from the trade, but is it worth getting in Appy? Because am I really going to play Appy over most of my guys? Probably not. So you'd probably be best off just nuffing out if you're going to do this. But I mean, games where he's been up and down. I don't think I would do it. I just don't see the point in it. And obviously the trades are running low. I mean, Wade Egan has looked really good, but I mean, he's just so in and out. I couldn't trust it. Fucking Reece Robson, 4 from Grace. Reed Marnie, he got a 64, but yeah, probably wouldn't worry about it. If we really desperately needed cash, I could see myself nuffing out Cook, because unless something happens to Grant, we don't need another dummy half. Because when does Storm have their bye though? 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Oh no, they're done. They're done for the year. So you could do it. Storm don't have another bye, but they could. I don't know. He could get a rest at some point, but probably not, because they definitely want the top 4 finish. Front row forward now. So Tino is set to miss like 3 or 4 games, I think, with a shoulder charge, which is fucking absurd. So Tino's out of the question. I mean, Adam Fanor-Blake came out and went massive with like 120. Payne Haas, I still think, is when he's back from injury, but it's a luxury trade in the front row. I think at the moment we're pretty stacked. I have no real issue with all our guys. I mean, Solomona is a guy that it'd be nice to use the cash he's made, but like, I don't know. I think just keep him. Play him on matchups, and if we need him, like, he's a really solid 50-point scorer with upside. So yeah, nothing really crazy there in the front row. I'm that interested in. The back row, I think we're set. Like, I mean, yeah, like a Cameron Murray for like 460 looks appealing. Kalamatangi maybe, but again, they have a bye coming up like later. There's definitely there's probably the back row. We could definitely look at like a pod option. I mean, Cartwright eventually probably has to go. He doesn't play the last game of the round, so we could look at maybe like a Nanai potentially could be a good pod. But again, it's a bit of a luxury trade. Now, Johnson to Nathan Cleary. This is the talking points. My initial gut is that, yes, you just bring Cleary straight back in, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I know coming off a 135, he's going to go up in price, and the Warriors, they have a good run coming up. Like, they have the Raiders and then a bye, so yeah, it is probably a good time to get him off, but then Gold Coast, Tigers, Manly, Dragons, Dolphins. Fuck. That is a good draw, dude. That is a really fucking good draw coming up. But I just think getting Cleary back in is the way to go. That's my initial thoughts, and I just don't think I think the Hines Cleary combo is just too good to pass up. Kalen Ponga and Cody Walker, I think that is superb. Potentially, Cameron Munster could come in and we shift Ponga down to 5'8", and this is what I was talking about with Gutherson. We could trade Gutherson out to Munster and Ponga goes to fullback. You have Ponga, Walker, and Munster. I don't hate that. I mean, again, Munster has no buys for the rest of the year, so that's lovely. And, the Storm need to come home strong to cement sort of a top 4, even a potential top 2 finish if they go well, but we'll see. So Munster is probably Munster's obviously the only guy in 5'8" I'd be considering. Centre wing, Chansey is the guy. I would love to get in Chansey. Again, I would love to get him for round 23. Like I said, they've got the Raiders this week and then a bye. So after the bye, getting in CNK would be superb. And if we got rid of Johnson, we would still have CNK, who gets a lot of touches, a lot of try assists, a lot of tries. So yeah, I think CNK, and then I don't know who else is there. Let's have a look. And then fullbacks, I still think Latrell Mitchell, and if Latrell Mitchell is back this week, man, I'll be tempted to go Gutherson straight to Latrell Mitchell. But other than that, I mean, you could go Tedesco. Let's have a quick look at centre wing. I mean, the one guy, Isaac Tungo, who unfortunately I wanted to get like a few weeks ago, but I just couldn't make it work. Greg Marju also. Where is he? Let's just go down here. So with Zarko, I'm sort of off of Zarko. I think if Branko Lee isn't inside of him, it's just not working. Like, Ewan Aiken can't pass the fucking ball. If Valens Tavade is inside him as well, he doesn't pass it. Like, Zarko's just not seeing the footy anymore. And I think, the time, like, I think if you got a Zarko, I don't think you trade him off, but I wouldn't be looking to purchase. Campbell Graham, Farnworth, nah. So yeah, C&K, he was going to drop some decent cash, but unfortunately got that 92. Hopefully the Raiders just keep him quiet and he doesn't balloon back out, because I would love to get him, but he is very expensive. Greg Marju, fuck, I would love Marju, but again, I just don't think I think it's either Klokstad or Marju. Definitely can't afford both of them. But man, I would love both. He just scores tries. They've got a I mean, Storm, Canberra, Dolphins, Dogs. It's an up and down draw. I think Marju will just fade. Unfortunately, I don't think we can go there. Anyone else? I mean, not really. Honestly, I mean, yeah. Again, Isaac Tungo, but he's 730k. With Cleary coming back into the team, Isaac Tungo and Crichton, obviously Crichton will be back as well. Tungo will go back to the left. I think with Cleary coming back, Tungo probably sees a drop-off again because Cleary obviously demands a lot of footy and he goes to the right side prodigiously. So I think Tungo, if you could have got him a few weeks ago, it would have been beautiful, but I don't really see getting him now. Fucking Sivo 320k. Holy shit. And then, yeah, I mean, Jacob Kiraz playing in centre, scored well, but bit of a luxury trade to get him. Brian To'o. Brian To'o for the run home. I could see it, but again, bit of a luxury trade. I think there should be one trade made into the centre wing, and I think it's Marju or Klokstad. Because if we look at trades remaining, we've got 7 trades. We'll say we're bringing in Cleary. So there's one trade gone. So 6 trades left. Mitchell, I think we definitely do want Mitchell when he's back. So we got 5 trades left. We want either CNK or Marju. So there's 4 trades left. And then, so 4 trades remaining. I don't know. I mean, you probably want a couple just for... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe... We'll need to make a bit of money for that. So let's say we'll have like 3 trades left. That's where I could see the merit in nuffing out Cook. Just to get like 400k to be able to do like a lot with. And yeah, just having 2 or 3 trades just for the last couple of rounds, just in case of restings and whatnot. But I mean, again, I think Penrith are the only team that are really going to rest players. Like Melbourne might rest Munster, but they don't really have another dummy half for Grant. The Broncos, I don't really have any Broncos players, so it's fine. Every other team is like fucking, they're competing for top 8, top 4. So I don't see too many restings from the teams, but you got to factor in injuries and suspensions. So, yeah, I think that's where we're looking. And I think it's okay. We'll have a better look after team lists and see who's in, who's out, and look what we want to do, because there's definitely some decisions to make. Because let's have a quick look. I think we are a little, because Johnson dropped more cash, we are going to be short. Yeah, we are a little bit short on Cleary, actually. I mean, I do think you got to bring him straight back in, right? Like, he just... Everything Johnson can do, Cleary can just do, and then some. The Panthers don't necessarily have a great draw. Obviously, the Dogs is scary, and even the Sharks, they could put 50 on. The Storm's defense hasn't been great, and then Manly, Gold Coast, it's a pretty good draw. They're done with their buys as well. Yeah, they're done with their buys as well. So I still do think you get in. I do think you get in Cleary. And then what is Mitchell? If Mitchell's... Unfortunately, I think Mitchell is around 900k, isn't he? How much is Latrell Mitchell? Oh, he's 813. That's actually juicy. If Latrell is named, do we just go straight from Gutho to Mitchell and then Johnson to Cleary? Be a couple of nice trades. It would be a couple of lovely trades. Tedesco 670k. I mean, again, like, I don't know. Do you take the extra cash and just hope Tedesco comes home with a wet sail? He generally does, and I don't know. Mitchell is like, he's a bit nerve-wracking to bring back straight away. What did he score? Yeah, he should have a pretty high break even. So maybe you could wait a week on Mitchell and then you bring in Tedesco, make more cash, and then the week after, hopefully Mitchell loses more cash and you could trade one of your centre wings to Mitchell. Maybe. I don't know. Well, we'll have a better look. Mitchell might not even be named. I'm not sure if he's actually due back this week or in next week. But yeah, hopefully guys are enjoying the Supercoach action. Fair bit of moving parts going into the end of the season, but make sure to like and comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.